Get ready to get ready. Coming to you live from the MFG studios in the heart of America's summer golf capital. We help you play better golf. It's time to get your game on and take it deep. This is the Mike Fay Golf Show. Here's your host, Mike Fay.
Well, good evening, everyone from America's Summer Golf Capital. My name is Mike Fay. I'm the Director of Player Performance here at the Bowling Golf Academy in Northern Michigan. And tonight, if you have not been watching, we've been doing this for over a month now. This is golf's most interactive online show, so welcome. It is here in Petoskey, about 9 degrees tonight. Pretty cold, but we're looking forward to warming up this weekend. So I'm going to want you to meet some of the cast characters tonight that we'll be having some fun with. First up, our PGA Rules official here in Michigan and PGA Master Professional is Frank Guastella. How you doing, Frank?
I'm doing great, Mike. How are you and Jason this evening?
Doing good. Doing super. And yes, there is Mr. Jason Helman. How you doing, Jay?
I'm doing well.
And he's in Toronto, Canada. He is PGA of Canada Teacher of the Year and Professional Development Award winner. Unlike last few shows, there is only 3 of us here tonight. Mr. Brent is stuck working, unfortunately. So you guys are just going to have to hang out with the 3 of us tonight. Well, what do you think? Should we get into the lineup and get going here, guys?
Yeah, let's get going. Right.
Sounds good. Let's do it.
All right. Tonight's lineup, pull it down here, is sponsored by Tifosi. And let's see. So tonight we're going to be talking about Helman's Hot 5, which is very dangerous, right, gents?
Yeah.
Never know what's going to happen. Mr. Helman will talk about 5 topics that are going on in the world of golf. We are giving away the eye tonight, my training aid, and also announcing the winner for last week's giveaway. We'll do Fix My Swing for a gentleman in Texas tonight. And if you don't know what Fix My Swing is, you guys can send in your swing to us, and live we'll take a look at it and try and help you with your golf game. Talk a little bit about MFG University, what's been going on with that. We'll have some results from the question of the week, and then Frank will wrap it up tonight with playing by the rules. So that's about it, gents. That's all we got. All right, switch things up here. Let's go in and let's do contest. What do you think? Do a little contest time? Okay, contest time, and then we'll do Helman's Top 5. What do you think, Jay? Let's get this rolling right off the bat, my friend. Tonight's contest is, in order to be eligible to win, you must type the word I in the comments in Facebook, YouTube, or Periscope. That's where we're streaming live tonight for our show. If you type in the word there, we'll be sending you a message back, and you will be on our messenger list. And that will get you in the contest. So more information about the eye. It's an awesome training aid. We put the picture up there in the corner. And you can hit putts with it, chips with it, irons and driver. Comes with an instructional aid there, and it's really, really cool. Check out more information about the eye. You can go to my website, MikeFayGolf.com. So we will be giving that away. Oh, I see some people already in Periscope typing in the eye. Awesome. Very cool. Get in this contest right now, and you'll be eligible to win. All right, let's go with Helman's Hot 5. There we go. Awesome. I think that we're going to bring Frank in for this too.
Yeah.
I want to talk about this picture here and Adam. What do you think?
Yeah,
Jeff?
we can definitely start off with that one.
Okay. Go ahead.
So we got a retro penalty where it was rescinded the week before, and then now they have not rescinded this particular individual's penalty for the caddy standing behind the player. That's where the caddy is, right there in the bottom picture, and the player is in the bunker. So someone has come up with a drawing. This is actually, I think, Golf Tucson on Twitter. I found this picture. And he's attempted to draw 12 o'clock, 9 o'clock, 3 o'clock in regards to the actual line of the player that he's taking and where the caddy is situated. So, I mean, there's so many variables involved here where that particular rules official is standing before he calls it. I remember I got called in a qualifying event for a Canadian Tour event for my caddy standing behind me as well. And this is going back a long time ago, but I think like 1990 or 91, somewhere around there. And he was in a cart, maybe 200 yards away, and then drove up and called the penalty. So I was like, I wasn't really aware of where the caddy was at the time because I was reading the putt myself, but he was behind me at some point, but not when I had addressed the ball. So I don't know. What do you think, Frank? We see the picture there, and we got the rules official who they called it after the fact and went back and penalized the player 2-shot penalty.
Well, first of all, Jason, I don't think he was trying to line. He obviously wasn't trying to line up the player. I think what he was trying to do was, if you look at the stance of the player, I believe what he was trying to do was see if he took a backswing, was he going to brush sand? I think that's what he was looking at. He was trying to help the player maybe avoid some kind of penalty. And to me, that's all he was doing. He checked it out and moved away. Again, I have a hard time understanding how they called that particular penalty on that player because I didn't see anything that was wrong there.
Yeah, I looked for video. I couldn't find any.
That's my opinion.
Just this one picture, and then of course they have the USGA image, I think, above it there on the left and the right. So at any point he can't be behind the player. It seems. Anytime, doesn't matter if he's addressing it or not. Now they're kind of saying.
Yeah, I know that's what they're saying. I saw the video of this, and I saw where the caddy was, and I saw what the player was attempting to do, and again, the caddy was just trying to make sure that the player didn't do anything that was going to be illegal. He certainly was not, trying to align the player and tell him that you're right on it or you're away from it. That had nothing. That didn't even enter into the picture.
Yeah, it's they got to get their ducks in a row.
Yeah. I think there's gonna, again, just my opinion. I think there's gonna be some more clarifications as we go on during the season, like we've seen in the last couple of weeks. I mean, obviously, you guys too are reading what Ricky Fowler's posting, what Justin Thomas is posting.
Yeah.
There's some pretty critical players out there right now on these new rules, and I understand there's going to be this adjustment period. I'm not really sure we should get into it on social media, or a player should get into it on social media, but I think there's going to have to be some kind of a forum where, the ruling bodies get together again and maybe have to create some more clarifications.
Yeah. And
how do you guys think about that?
One of my next goes to one of my next points that we're going to bring up in the Hot Five. But yeah, I mean, obviously there's going to be, a learning curve. I mean, Fowler got called for an incorrect drop last week, shoulder height. I mean, again, he's not gaining an advantage. I get it. maybe I don't know, maybe they say, okay, it can be dropped at knee height, but if you accidentally drop it at shoulder height, there's no penalty. I don't know, something. Because he's not gaining an advantage. If you're gaining an advantage somehow, like I saw Vijay today. It looked like he was actually below his knee, but I don't know. He's a big dude. But
and sometimes it's hard to tell on camera angles too, from television. So
well, just like they call the caddy, like talking about camera angles. Who knows what that rules official is? And do they see a picture of it, or is someone in the trailer calling down to a rules official saying, hey, caddy's behind the player and he's lining him up in the bunker? Like, it doesn't look like the caddy's intending to hang out there, crouch down the player.
Not at all.
And he wasn't even taking his stance there. They do have a picture a photo where he is in his stance, feet are dug in, but I don't know. I mean, he probably moves away after that, but I didn't see the video. So, but they certainly have to get their, T's crossed and I's dotted.
Yeah, we want to know from out there, all of you guys. Let's make some comments about this, what you think about this penalty, and let us know on Facebook, YouTube, and Periscope tonight. We'd love to talk about it. All right, you ready to get rolling with the top 5, my friend?
Yeah, absolutely. That was
okay. That was one of them. Awesome. Very cool. Oh, Lord. Okay. Here you go.
Okay, so I had first up, Keith Mitchell winning. Hopefully everyone saw that. It's awesome clutch putt, young guy, 27, 18th hole for the win, with just outside 15 feet. And I think I heard Azinger said his percentage was like 2, he'd made 2 putts outside 15 feet like all week. He's also a Mizuno staff player, so way to go. And one of my rep for Mizuno here messaged me and let me know that they had 4 sets of irons in the top 6 this week and 2 drivers in the top 4. So nice week on tour, boys, for Mizuno.
Very cool.
And he's also a Georgia Bulldog, who is my college team. Even though I'm Canadian, I pull for the Bulldogs. I met some really nice people down in Georgia when I was on the web.com down there, which was previously Nationwide. That's when I met them. But they converted me into a Bulldog fan. So go Dogs. So this is the follow up to point number 3, which we just discussed. But the USGA calling out players on tour on Twitter, fighting back a little bit. So it's kind of like with the wondering about that emoji, and it's interesting. There was a few tweets that they said about Justin Thomas not taking calls or meetings or something like that. Yeah. I mean,
supposedly missed a few meetings.
Yeah, so I mean, he was busy, I guess, but that's what he says. But I'm sure he was in a 3-week stretch of playing tournaments. But it's interesting that they're starting to call players out. I don't know if that bickering is going to do any good, but because ultimately the players are playing, and obviously the USGA is ruling. But it's interesting that they're starting to chirp back a little bit. What are your thoughts on that, Frank?
Well, it's kind of like what I was telling you, Jay. I mean, right now there seems to be, I'm not sure that's the best way to approach this situation. I really don't. I don't think, I get some of the players aren't real pleased with what they're seeing, and some of them have been called on penalties and they're not happy with that. But everybody's got to play under the same rules. So far, it appears as if the changes, for the most part, are okay. It just seems there's a couple of areas there that still create some grayness, is the way I'd want to interpret it. And, at some point in time, I again, like I said, I think everybody's going to have to get together in a room and figure this thing out. The players, in my opinion, shouldn't be taking up this cause on social media. I think there's a better forum for that.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure they have rules committees for
Well, they do.
players sit on those rules committees. They just need to talk to whoever's the chair of that committee.
Yeah, they should be talking to the tour. The people on tour that are in charge of the rules. That's who they want to discuss, because those people will have the ear of the USGA and the Royal and Ancient. So, and the PGA Tour, if you've read anything about when they enacted the new rules, or they were about to enact the new rules, the PGA Tour was represented. They had a say. So, I just don't think they should be running this campaign through social media.
Yeah, all the players, chit chat and chirping about the rules and how they don't like them and stuff. I mean, I guess, and plus they have like hundreds of thousands of followers and maybe right. So they get all those people on their side, and there's a bit of backlash, towards the USGA or the RNA.
Yeah,
interesting.
So what's going to happen too, Jason, as more people, or let's say college players, start reading these, the tweets, and are we going to start seeing this kind of thing in junior tournaments now, and are we going to start seeing it in college tournaments, high school tournaments? Again, I'm not sure that social media is the place that you want to be, fighting your battles.
Yeah, become an epidemic where you just blame the people that are making them, making the rules up, or governing them. But we got to number 3, I guess, Mike, which we already sort of discussed. There was Schenk's penalty there, caddie, but and the picture and the video and all that kind of stuff. So let's skip over to number 4. Yeah. So this is another. I saw this topic in online, LPGA hot topic of Asian players dominating over U.S. players, and why do we think that's happening? What do you guys think?
Well, they're extreme, and you've worked with a lot of Asian players. I mean, they're very disciplined. They work hard.
Yeah,
it gets down to the point where they're outworking everybody. Why can't we just say that?
Yeah, sure. Working harder and maybe even working smarter in some cases. Exactly. Sometimes they overwork. I've been in that situation where players definitely work a little bit too hard and create some injuries and struggle a bit. So, and I did a little, research project a couple of years ago where a lot of LPGA players are retiring by age 25 and a half, 26. So that's due to injury and other life changes. But they definitely work harder. In what I've seen, I've been out on tour many times, and a lot of times they're the last ones leaving the range. Maybe that's overworking, trying to find something for the next day, but they're just they have a passion for it. Not that Americans don't, but and I'm not so sure about how women's golf is growing in the U.S. Is it growing a lot, or are you seeing a lot of high school kids, or is there a lot of juniors, kids playing U.S. kids golf down there? How is it for you guys down there? Is there a lot of development?
Well, I'll give you my opinion, Jason. I don't think we're seeing a huge spike in young girls playing golf. I mean, in the area that I'm in, there's only, I think now, 4 or 5 high school teams in this local area here. And it's not like the boys where maybe there's 10 teams, there's less. In the junior program that I worked in last year, we didn't really have that many young girls. I think it's probably holding its own, but I don't see a tremendous spike in the amount of young girls playing high school golf. Now, I don't know, Mike, how is it in your area? I mean, what kind of numbers are you seeing in northern Michigan?
Yeah, we're getting more to play, but with our population up here, we don't have many. But any more is a good thing to get out and play. This is a great topic to bring up to everybody that's watching tonight. We want to know what you think of this. I think the girls are the fastest growing segment of the game of golf right now in the United States. I see it happening here. I think it's great. It's fantastic. But all those points you guys brought up are exactly right. Being disciplined, that's a big deal.
Yeah, practicing,
working hard, big deal. And we see that out of those players, and it's pretty cool to watch. I'm very very impressed with what those guys are doing. That's good.
I guess it really just comes down to how bad do you want it? How bad do you want to play golf, win, scholarship, whatever your goals might be in the game. But obviously, we're seeing, I don't know what the percentage is on the ladies tour of Asian players from Korea or Japan or China, but I'm sure, and Thailand now is also becoming quite significant.
Yeah, if you guys know out there, want to make a comment about it, if you know the percentage of players, we'd like to know. I'm going to check in here on Periscope and see what's going on. We see Marco is on. How are you? Let's see, who else is on Facebook, guys?
Billy's on. Hey, Billy, what's going on, buddy?
Very cool. Awesome. I think we have, one more, Jay, in the top 5?
One more.
Okay.
So if only Vijay could putt today. He gave it a good go.
Yeah, he did.
But, I don't know, I saw him 3, 4, 5, or 6 times, and all his putts were short. I think 3 of them were for birdie on the back 9. And then he gassed it in the par 3 and hit it in the water and got up and down for bogey, which was good. So he got to 6 under and could have made eagle on the 18 if that would have, for 8 under, it would have been. But he hadn't made any 2 or 3 of those other putts that were in the jar and just short. I could see him just kind of throw his arms up. But would have been cool. 56 years old, to get a win. That would have been against a pretty good field.
Real good field.
Awesome.
Would have been pretty awesome.
What did you guys think of him with his cross-handed chipping there on after he dumped it in the water?
I saw that. I was like, what? And apparently Koepka did it the day before.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. That's interesting. I think who was the other guy? Chris. I don't know. There was what's that guy's name? Chris. I can't remember his name. He used to chip cross-handed on tour as well. And then there was Josh Broadway, who played cross-handed full swing on the Web.com Nationwide Tour, which was interesting.
Yes, very cool stuff.
Oh, yeah, I don't know if I never tried it. It would be kind of interesting to try.
Yeah, if any of you guys out there are cross-handed players, we want to know. We want to see your swing. Send your swing in. I want to take a look at it. Be really cool.
It was Chris Smith. I think I might have been Chris Smith.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that'll wrap up the top 5 this week.
Well, thanks, Jay.
Looking forward to next week and see what's going on. Absolutely.
Well, it's time now to announce who has won last week's contest for the Tifosi Enliven sunglasses, and that is Mr. Mark Berry. Mark, congratulations, my friend. You are our winner. He is from Maryland, and if you send us a message with your address where we can send them, we'll send them out to you. So congrats. The Enliven shades are coming to you, my friend. Getting ready for golf season. Okay, coming up next is time for Fix My Swing. And I'm going to hand it over to you guys for a minute and get things ready for Fix My Swing. Yeah.
Sounds good.
All right.
Did you get a chance to look at this swing, Frank?
Yes, I did. Yes.
Yeah, it's not bad, eh?
Yeah, not bad at all. I mean, we've been getting some pretty good golf swings. Getting some pretty talented players.
Yep. This guy's got a pretty good move too. I don't see too many things that I would work on with him. But I know that I sent Mike a couple of photos. impact, and we're going to take a look at the video too. So
Yes. This is Mr. Bubba Jennings. He is from Texas. Thank you so much, Bubba, for sending in your swing. He writes here to us. He has 5 handicap. He struggles with over-rotation on the backswing and getting too far under the plane on the downswing. His misses are fat shots, shots going left. Would like to get steeper and hit the ball more solid. Also hit lots towards the heel, the club face. Oh, that is not fun. Any suggestions are greatly appreciated. Awesome. Thanks so much, Bubba, for sending in your swing. I'm going to go in and make a few comments, and then we're going to all look at it here. First up, let's go ahead and take a look at down the line. Very good player at a 5 handicap. That video's looking good tonight. Awesome video that you shot for us too, Bubba. Very cool.
Lyman stick down there and everything.
Yeah, he's got it going on. Let's put a line
He's a
up
player.
here. Yes, he's got a good golf swing. Let's see if we can help him out a little bit. Okay, for the first thing that I saw is that with alignment, we're looking like our feet are aiming a little bit to the right and our shoulders are a little bit open. What do you think, gents?
Yeah, I'd agree with that.
I would say, just for alignment purposes alone. And let's take a look at the backswing. So he takes it right up the chute, looking good right there. Club face a little bit closed at the top. And he comes down under the plane. Now, one of the things that he talks about hitting it left is it's a little bit too far under the plane. And we're going to see that from side on as well, because, or face on, you can see his right arm's not going to have a lot of room to clear right there when he comes down. And his club face is getting pretty close pretty quick as he comes down, and he gets that shaft there, and he swings it a little bit too far out to the right. But other than that, pretty good motion through the ball. He stays in this posture really well, don't you think, guys?
Yeah, this ball flight was just like a little bit of a draw, and it didn't look much of a pull draw. So I like a lot of. He talked about over rotation. I saw the extra little move he did, and I just wonder if that was an instinct. I can see that he's taken some coaching. I think in the past, he's got a lot of things going on with his setup that are quite nice, and they got a little flip flare out in the front. I think he's kind of standing on that angle of address, Mike, because he is trying to hit a little bit of a draw.
Yeah. And
aiming out to the right a little bit with his feet, and obviously if he cranked his shoulders back a little bit more, I think he'd swing more path more right, which would be probably worse if he's struggling with the hooks.
Yeah, but it looks like, and we're going to see here from face
move.
On, from face on, this club comes from underneath pretty good, and he kind of leaves a lot of weight, and you can look at, this is one thing that I noticed, the foot just moving, look at that. Like that, and then he gains his balance and holds his balance. So let's take a look at from face on. Yep. A lot of things we can learn from you, Bubba, looking at your swing here.
He does a real good job, too, Mike, of keeping his angles at impact. He was in a really good position.
Yes, no doubt. Okay, let's put some lines up here. We'll put another line up here. We'll put a circle around your head. And let's take a look at this. This is even more what we can say what you're talking about, Bubba. We kind of get a little bit outside with our weight. And one of the things that I look for is actually right here on the knee. And like to try and keep that knee pretty stable, and it kind of turns out, and then we slide and get outside of that. You can see your head and everything moving to the right outside of that. So that's what sets the bottom of your swing. Okay. So you have to get back to that point, get your head back in the circle, and get your right knee back into the circle on your downswing. So it stands to reason you're a good player. You have figured it out that if you take your ball position and you move it a little bit back in your stance, you can hit it. So you figured this out. Now, why are you hitting thin shots? And we're going to see right here on the downswing, right there.
Sure.
And that's why we're hitting thin shots. If we zoom in here, this club is just about touching the ground. So why does that happen? It happens because
see it in the next frame too, right here. You'll see what he does.
Yeah, and we're going to see.
Right.
See if I can slow it down just a little bit.
Right there. That was the one. Just,
right there.
Yeah. So I think this looks to be about a 5-iron. I'm not quite sure, but it's either a mid or lower lofted club at address there. So we got a little bit of tilt back and a little bit of hit up.
Yes, a little bit of tilt back here with the spine, and a little bit of hit up. So how are we going to try and help you here, Bubba? I think what we need to do is try and make sure that we don't move so much this way with our lower body and kind of be more stable. What do you think, Frank? Trying to hit some shots with the ball between your knees, right?
Definitely.
Yep.
Definitely stabilizes the lower body.
Yeah, you can see the difference here between the arrows that I put up with a spine angle at impact or just post-impact and what a spine angle is here at address. It's a lot different. That spine angle change is causing a lot of this. So trying to keep your head up and rotating instead of dipping it back this way will definitely help impact for sure. Moving the ball a little bit farther forward, I think, would help as well. Trying to get on top of it more and just try to be more rotation around this way more instead of so much sideways in your golf swing. And I think that is the ticket because we need to get more, not so much to the right, and then really not a lot going through to the left. So it's definitely going to help you in that way. What do you think, gents?
If you can get rid of those lines, Mike, for a sec.
Yeah.
I just want to touch on a couple of things just two things that are, one thing I really want to work on, but just two things that I can point out maybe that he can improve, specifically with this particular club. If you can just wind him up, backswing.
Yep.
And then get him to start down a little bit. He doesn't really retain much wrist angle, so I would try and teach him to pull down a little bit, because if you, so there's good, and then he loses it, right? Yeah. And it gets a bit swipey, so if you can go just back a little bit, just to, one more frame back. He has, in this particular, keep going, a little bit more. Just try and get it to right leg impact. You know where you had that frame?
Yeah, I'm moving in here.
Just getting it down to the ground where it was almost touching the ground. Yeah, right there. So he's I don't know how many milliseconds away from impact there, and his hands are just even with his right thigh. So I would get him to maybe hit some knockdown shots or do a stop drill, so he could gain the rotation that you mentioned earlier, and try and get left and get rotating, because he's kind of hanging out back there on the right side too much. So I want to get a little bit of a forward shaft lean. So either a little downhill, hit some downhill shots or some knockdown shots, or the stop drill is basically swing and feel like you hit a punch shot, but keep the club parallel to your waist when you follow through. So I think if we can get that, we get a little bit more solid impact, and that would help his ball striking a bit.
Jason, would you do anything with him with regards to his wrist angle at the top of the backswing? Because he's got that face shut. Would you do anything to try to change the wrist angle to get the toe of the club down instead of
No,
the face closed, or are you good with where he is?
I'm good with where he's at because he's a 5, so he's pretty good to. He knows how to return the club back to impact. He's just not as efficient as we would like at impact, where his hands aren't quite educated enough to get forward enough to have the type of contact that he wants. Even in the down the line swing, I stopped at an impact and sent Mike a still, and I can see that his hands are right on top of his right thigh.
Right.
So he's past it because Mike said you can see he's moving past the green lines and sliding a bit. So we either got to slow that down or speed the hands and arms up, one of the two. So if he can brace better, hopefully he can get his hands and arms to catch up a little bit better, and his matchups will be better at impact.
Got awesome legs.
Yeah.
He uses the ground well.
Yeah,
good stuff.
Balance is great. Pivots are good.
Good golf swing. All right, awesome. Thank you so much, Bubba from Texas, for sending in your swing. Very, very cool. And if you would like to have your swing looked at by all of us here on Fix My Swing, you can go to MikeFayGolf.com/FixMySwing and enter in to have your swing looked at. So thanks, Bubba. That was very, very cool. All right, next up, let's see here. We're going to talk a little bit about MFG University. If those of you guys are not following us on YouTube, I think you should, because there's lots of stuff going out there. We put out, 12, 15 videos already this past week on there about MFG University and all the cool stuff that we're doing. There is some stuff that has not been seen yet that was recorded 3 years ago. That's really cool. And just take a look at it. Subscribe today. We've gotten a bunch of subscribers over this past week, and we'll just keep adding more and more people to our list. So cool stuff. Also, Instagram television. We are on there, putting some of that stuff on there, but not all of it. So you got to look for everything on YouTube. Let's see. We have Fay's Useless Knowledge tonight. Let's see. Fay's Useless Knowledge.
Oh boy.
Been thinking about this all day. I'm going to tell you, I broke a shovel the other day.
Well done. I thought you had a snowblower.
I do, but I need a shovel because, there's spots you can't get. We've had 3 or 4 feet of snow out here, and it's like, concrete now. And don't buy just a plastic shovel. That's my useless knowledge for the week. As it's easily
that's brilliant, Mike.
Can't break the ice up with a plastic shovel.
Can't do it. It's not going to happen. There you go. There's Fay's Useless Knowledge. Okay, Frank, let's do playing by the rules today.
Okay, we're going to be talking about some of the new definitions. There's some terminology that is no longer in use. One of those things is through the green. When you look in a rule book now, what you're going to see is the general area, and the definition of that is the area of the course that covers all of the course except for the other 4 defined areas, which are 1, the teeing area you must play from in starting the hole. You're playing. 2, all penalty areas. 3, all bunkers, and 4, the putting green of the hole you are playing. The general area includes all the teeing locations on the course other than the teeing area and all wrong greens. The next thing you're going to find in a rule book now is you're not going to see the words 2-stroke penalty. What you're going to see when a player receives a 2-stroke penalty is the words general penalty. And what the general penalty is a loss of hole in match play and 2 strokes in stroke play. The other thing that is new this year is the no play zone. That is a part of the golf course where the committee has prohibited play. A no play zone must be defined as part of either an abnormal course condition or a penalty area. The next thing that we don't see in the rule book anymore is the word water hazard or lateral water hazard. What we see is penalty area. And a penalty area is an area from which relief with a one-stroke penalty is allowed if your ball comes to rest there. Now, there are two distinct types of penalty areas. We have a yellow penalty area, which is marked with yellow lines or yellow stakes, and that gives you two relief options. And then there's also the red penalty area, which is marked with either red lines or red stakes, and that gives you an extra lateral relief option in addition to the two relief options available for yellow areas. And the last thing we're going to talk about is you're not going to see the term casual water anymore. What you're going to see is temporary water. And temporary water is any temporary accumulation of water on the surface of the ground, such as puddles from rain or irrigation, or overflow from a body of water that is not in a penalty area and can be seen before or after you take a stance without pressing down excessively with your feet. So those are just some of the new terms or definitions that are in the rule book, and those are replacing terms that we've been pretty used to hearing and seeing and defining in the past.
Hey, just going by the rules here, we got a comment from David Stone. 3 minutes is horrible rule. What thoughts on that? Gone from 5 minutes to 3 minutes. We went from 10 to 5 to 3.
Jay, my opinion of that is, if you're going to find your ball, you usually find it within the first 3 minutes. So I don't have a problem with the fact that they moved from 5 minutes to 3 minutes. You know, and again, you know, a lot of the reason for the changes in the rules was to help speed play. And I don't see where that extra, in just my opinion, I don't see where that extra 2 minutes is going to make a huge difference.
That's possible, yeah.
Hi, Nick. How are you? Welcome on Facebook. Anybody out there on YouTube today, thank you so much for watching us right now. Right now we're doing Playing by the Rules with Frank Guastella. Frank's a PGA rules official here in Michigan, talking about some of the rules changes. So temporary water.
Yes, not casual anymore.
Mm-hmm.
You're in temporary water.
Yes,
you're not in casual water anymore.
We have to get used to all of these new terminologies here, right, Frank? So
yes,
temporary water, same kind of drop procedure as it is in the hazard with the clubs around the half circle from the.
Hey, I got a question.
From the point of reference.
Point of reference, sorry.
How come the tour players don't have to hit it over the water on the bear trap holes? They get the luxury of a drop area.
Well, again, that's a local rule that their committee put into effect.
Oh, okay.
So, sometimes that happens.
Yeah.
It's just like things at your club, Jay. You know, there's probably some local rules at the club that they put into play just to either assist players or make play a little bit faster, or, just something that's a little quicker.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, we all know how long the tour players take to play, so that's always a bone of contention too.
Yeah, for some of them, for sure.
Oh my goodness, there's no doubt. Yes, all of these terms are going to have to be learned by everyone as we move forward because they are totally different for those of us that have been playing golf for a long time. Couple things about the show, just letting you know that it is now available in the form of an audio podcast on iTunes, Stitcher, Spotify, TuneIn, all over the place, all over the world now. So pretty excited about that. So we have uploaded our previous episodes of this and they've been edited. So if you guys want to participate in the show, you have to come on live with us on YouTube, Facebook, and Periscope. Any more questions or thoughts for us for tonight? Thanks so much, Bubba, for sending in your swing.
Yep, thank you.
You betcha.
Yep, thank you very much.
Anybody else have anything? I'm going to check in here on YouTube. Okay. Nothing there. We're going to check in here on Periscope. Phil, welcome on Periscope.
Thanks
Pretty
for
cool
tuning
stuff. Thank you so much for tuning in. Once again, the contest tonight is to win the eye. I'm going to throw that up there so that you guys can see that. The eye is a golf training aid from greatgolfproducts.com.
I'm just looking at a comment on Facebook. David replied, I will be selling 3-minute timers so all the penalties can be assessed on time. That's classic. I love it.
Thank you, David.
I like that.
That's good. That's great.
That's really
good feedback.
Yes. Thanks, David. That's cool. Once again, to be eligible to win, you must type the word I in the comments on Facebook, YouTube, or Periscope, wherever you're watching this. And for more information about the eye, which helps you with every part of your game, you can go to our website, MikeFayGolf.com. So, once again, coming to you live from America's summer golf capital. We cannot wait to go golfing. We've got about 4 feet of snow here in northern Michigan, and it will start melting this weekend. So, we're signing off now. You guys be safe out there. Thanks so much to Jay and Frank for being on. Next week, we'll have Brent on, and we'll be back all together. You guys have a good one.
You too, Mike.
Good night.
Night.